Hello friends, we are continuing our discussion of thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, what kind of numericals are asked? Normally, many questions can be solved on the basis of Hess law. All right, we are given heat of combustion delta Hc of carbon monoxide is given. This is say minus 98 kilocalories. All right, and delta HF of CO is given. It is say suppose minus 40, and the question is calculate delta Hc of carbon monoxide. All right. So if you can write these reactions, one thing, and second, can you arrange it in Hess law? Like what can be done? Carbon is directly converted to CO2. The enthalpy change is minus 98 kilocalories. All right. And now carbon is converted to carbon monoxide and then converted to carbon dioxide. And heat of formation of Cu, that is conversion of carbon to Cu, is also given. This is minus 40. You have to find out this value. So minus 98 equal to minus 40 plus x. This you have to find out. So x is equal to, it is minus 58. So this is heat of combustion of carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide. All right. Or we are given say suppose delta H solution of BaCl2 is given. It is say suppose minus 100 kilocalories, and delta H solution of BaCl2 dot twice of H2O is given. It is say minus 20 kilocalorie. You have to find out delta H hydration of anhydrous BaCl2. Okay, so BaCl2 anhydrous is directly converted to BaCl2 aqueous. This reaction represents heat of solution, and now BaCl2 anhydrous is converted to BaCl2 dot twice of H2O. Finally, it is converted to BaCl2 aqueous. This is heat of solution, which is given minus 100, and then heat of solution of BaCl2 dot twice of H2O. This is also given. You have to find out this. So minus 100 equal to x plus minus 20. So x is equal to minus 80 kilocalories, like that. All right. Or in some numericals, you will be given say CH4. Heat of formation of CH4 is given. It is minus 50 kilocalories. All right. And heat of formation of CO2 is given. It is minus 98 kilocalories. And heat of formation of H2O is given. It is minus 60 kilocalories. All right. Make it minus 90 kilocalories, so that calculation part is easy. So the point is for such cases, and what we have to find out, we have to find out the amount of heat released, or we will go for a smaller case first. The question is calculate delta Hc of methane CH4. All right. Heat of combustion of methane. So first thing, you should be able to write the proper reaction of combustion of methane. I told you, if in any organic compound is burnt, the number of carbon equal to number of CO2 and number of hydrogen divided by 2. So 4 of hydrogen, so twice of H2O, and this is delta Hc. And oxygen, the Oxygen is 4 plus 2 plus 2 4, so it is twice of O2. Even if you don't balance it, you are not bothered. Why? Because now there is one more question. See, the question is, if we are given any element like H2, F2, Cl2, O2, N2, which are not in combined state, all right, means only one element is involved, their enthalpy change delta H is considered 0, and their delta H is 0, their delta G is 0, all right, delta G is 0 if they are not in combined state. But you should be careful, their delta S is never 0, it is always positive, right? So even if you don't balance it, it is no problem, there is no problem, it is this value is 0. Now CO2, the enthalpy of formation of CO2, it is minus 90. This is enthalpy of formation of H2O, it is minus 60 into 2. So this is equal to minus 120. 120 plus 90, that is minus 210. So this is enthalpy of product. This is enthalpy of product, and this is 0. Enthalpy of reactant is minus 50. So delta H is given by enthalpy of product minus enthalpy of reactant, that is equal to minus 210 minus 50, that is equal to plus 50. So it is the remaining value, that is minus 210, and so it is minus 160, all right. So this is the enthalpy of combustion of methane. Now suppose there is a question, the extension of this question, that is calculate the amount of heat release when 2.24 liter methane is burnt. This is not the basic question. The question is calculate the amount of heat released when 2.24 liter methane is burnt. So see, this is for 1 mole of methane. When 1 mole of methane is burnt, this much amount of heat is released. You have to change the sign. So means 1 mole means 22.4. So 22.4 liter of methane on burning is producing 160 calories of heat. Therefore 2.24 liter of methane will produce, so it is 16 kilocalories. All right, so these kind of questions are asked, all right. And then there will be questions based on entropy, that is delta S is equal to delta H by T, like delta S of sublimation is equal to delta H sublimation divided by T. You will find questions on this basis. Or delta S of a reaction is given by entropy of product minus entropy of reactant, entropy of product minus entropy of reactant. And then there are questions based on delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S, all right. So spontaneity of a process can be known by delta G. Now one more question, that is very common question. Any process which is spontaneous, normally we say if delta H is negative or delta G is negative, all right, and delta H delta S positive, these signs represent normally spontaneous reaction. Which is the best way? It is entropy, or on the basis of free energy we can say a process is spontaneous or not. It is not necessary that if a process is exothermic it is always spontaneous, all right. So spontaneity can be known by this thing, this factor. And then we have on the basis of delta G, there are many other relations. Delta G equal to minus NFE 0, etc. Delta G 0 equal to minus NFE 0, or delta G 0 is equal to minus 2.303 RT log of Kc, etc. On the basis of those relations, you can find out delta G, or spontaneity of a reaction. All right, and then say free energy concept, free energy, and for a process, whether a process is spontaneous or not, like if we are having an exothermic reaction, all right, we are given a reaction that is A is equal to B, whether this process is exothermic, whether this process is spontaneous or not. For this process, the process is, first of all, it is mentioned exothermic. So from this relation, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Now in this case, the first condition is delta S is say suppose delta S is positive. All right, the first case. So delta H is negative, that means this fact exothermic, that means delta H is negative and this factor is positive, that means we always get a delta G with negative sign. So such processes are never non-spontaneous, such processes are always spontaneous. What are the condition? Exothermic process, that means delta H is favoring forward reaction, delta H is favoring forward process, and delta S is positive. Delta S is positive, it is also favoring forward process. Such a process is always spontaneous. All right. Now look at the second condition. If delta H is, means this is exothermic, but now this delta S is negative. All right. So look at the relation delta G, that is equal to delta H, all right, minus T delta S. And now this is exothermic, so this is negative, minus and this is minus plus. So now see, what is the problem here? Delta G, unless delta G becomes negative, the process cannot be spontaneous. So for negative delta G, this factor, that is delta H, must be greater than T delta S. If delta H is greater than T delta S, only then the process will be spontaneous. Alright, so for exothermic reactions, we have two conditions. One, delta S is positive, and second, delta S is negative. Similarly, for endothermic reaction, if the process is endothermic, alright, if the process is endothermic, that means delta H is positive. Now from delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S, we can say see, it is positive. Now the first condition we are taking, that delta S is negative, means this is positive, all right, and minus it also become positive. So for such processes delta G is always positive, and such processes are never spontaneous, they are never spontaneous. And the second condition, if delta S is delta S is positive and delta H is also positive. Now say the relation delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S. This is positive, all right, and this is also positive. So negative positive, it is negative. Now see, the condition for negative delta G is T delta S factor must be greater than delta H. If T delta S exceeds delta H, then delta G will be negative and the process will be spontaneous. Alright. So such kind of questions are asked. So you can solve such questions. Alright. So this is it, and all the best.